Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna look at oh my god. Look at Katnizz first, probably. Team right. And for controls. Oh, sweet. Well, that's nice. Maybe not though. How do I pause? Is there a hotkey to pause? Hang on, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to. Replay. Pause, pause, pause. Is there no hotkey to pause? I'm gonna lose my mind. Okay. F11? Sweet. Oh my god. I'm gonna lose my mind at this. Okay. We're fine. We'll figure it out. Okay, first thing. I'm gonna be really detailed. This is really minor. Right? But right off the bat, as a general rule of thumb for playing any character in the game, you need to like have a plan before you do it, right? So even just walking out of the spawn, I can tell that you haven't really thought about what you're gonna do when you leave spawn, because you just kind of walk to the middle here and you go to the right side of this thing, and then you're like, oh, I guess we should go left, right? And that's like super small thing, right? Like it doesn't really matter, but at the same time, it shows me something about your mindset already of like you're not. It seems like you're not really somebody that's gonna be thinking ahead too much. So I'm curious to see if I notice things that show that later on. Okay. First thing, Fire Strike is how you build ult, and you're gonna beat this Rhine by building ult first. So first global here, like first global coming out of here, you want to chuck Fire Strike down this way. In terms of forcing out the Sombra, it's not really Ryan's job to do that. So like, you can pretty much ignore the Sombra. If she's gonna hack you, you like flick shield towards her. Worst case scenario, you just kind of like hold shield at her and your team shoots at her and she'll recall out. But like, as Ryan, you don't want to leave the front line to go hold left click towards a flanker DPS. That goes for like Tracers, Genjis, that kind of shit. You generally don't want to like leave the front line to do that. So late Fire Strike. Okay, see? So you just did it right there. And now look at your front line. See, look at your Zarya now. Because you turned around and went and swung at that Sombra, now you're really behind. And your Zarya is like really out of position. So I want to watch oh, I'm done screwing around with controls. So, okay. So right here, when you rotate, right, you never want to hard right click and just walk around. It's really bad for your shield health. So this number here is like pretty much tied to your HP. It's like the same thing. So you don't ever want to just hold right click really and walk around. You want to like flick shield and like jump. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but you let go of shield and you jump to get the momentum of full speed, and then while you're in the air, you hold shield. And so you'll have shield up like 90% of the time, but you'll move at full speed. So yeah, you did a little bit there, but like hard right clicking here, like what are you going to shield right now? Like you're not really, like look at their team, you really don't need to shield here. So right now, see, holding shield right here is terrible. So if I'm you right now, I'm like, all right, hold on, and I'm just going to stand here and swing at air and just chill out until this gets to 100 health, or 100%, right? Once this hits 100%, then you're ready to peek the corner and take the fight, right? But like by holding shield and shielding nothing here, you're going to hold your shield at half HP and make sure that when you take this fight, you have half shield. So that's going to be really bad for you. So you're already behind. Sombra hacks you. Right, so you don't want to go out and peek. You just kind of want to stand here, and Zarya would turn around and shoot at the Sombra. Right here, don't chase the Sombra. Let's look at that again. One thing, when you're like meleeing, you pretty much want to Fire Strike on cooldown. It's going to be more DPS, I guess, than just swinging. So like when your Fire Strike comes up, you want to like swing and animation cancel the swing of the Fire Strike on the enemy Rein. That's going to put a lot more pressure on them than just swinging. Boom, Fire Strike now, right? Fire Strike now. Oh my god, dude, these controls. Fire Strike a little late. So right there, okay, right here. I hate these controls. Here, watch. Right there. After that swing, right now you're ahead. Right, you're ahead right now. He's like, oh fuck, I got a shield. So right here, like you just want to take 2 seconds after you Fire Strike him and just hide behind this this wall and make sure you're healthy, right? Because you're winning the fight right now. So now that he's backing off, just give yourself a second to like get your armor back here, right? And then push on him because he's gonna be low, right? But instead, oh my god, instead you go really aggressive when you're still low, and he's holding shield back here, and because you push in when you're low and he's holding shield, he gets healed, you get antied, and you just kind of die instantly. So sort of bad like swing Fire Strike mechanics there, bad shield management, and bad positioning / engage timing. I won't be as particular on fights to come, but I can't believe you're not allowed to use like arrow keys or anything to go forward and backward. That's absurd. Super quick, let me just look again. This is gonna drive me actually insane. Okay. Alright. Whatever. We'll work with it. It's a good charge. So right there, again, you wanna swing and then Fire Strike. You don't wanna Fire Strike first. Like swing and animation cancel with the Fire Strike. So right here, you're giving up too much space, right? So they have to contest point, and right now you're like allowing them to walk on and contest point. Instead, you should hold like right on this corner and stand literally on the corner of this point and zone this guy out. Like don't let him touch, you know? Like there's no reason you have to be like, you have 2 healers here and it's just a Genji Ana, so you don't need to be like this far back, you know? Like hold up. Right? Again, this isn't your job to turn around and swing at this Genji, because now, right now they're Ana's main and there's no shield blocking her anymore. So she could easily throw an anti your whole team right now, and then Genji dashes and kills the whole team, right? So like when the Genji dashes like that, this is a throw from their Genji. It's like golden rule of Genji, you're not allowed to dash unless you get a kill. So the fact that he dashed in without getting a kill and dash resetting, he's stuck now. No way this guy gets out, right? So your job is to just hold your ground and let him come back here. You literally ignore him and let your team deal with him and hold shield main and like block the Ana. Look, see? See, now you're antied, and look how much space their team has now because you're not here anymore. And the Genji just deflected all your shots. He's full HP, you know? So like, you just gave this up completely for free, and their Genji hasn't died yet. So again, the correct thing to do here is you just stand here and just, your job as Reinhardt is space. You're controlling space, right? The Genji, by dashing in and killing absolutely nothing, that's feeding. He didn't take any space with that. So you don't need to give up space to like peel back. Also, you're not allowed to swing when you're antied. Okay. You're going aggressive at very bad times. Right here, shield. Right? You shielded a little bit too late. You blocked the shatter, but you took more damage than you needed to. Right? Right now, you're thinking about space, right? So what do you want to be doing for your team? Well, first of all, you probably should rotate your shield and make sure that the highest damage in the game, your full charge Zarya, is probably shielded. So like you could get the same defensive effect, just tilt your shield just a little bit and like help your Zarya. You know? Like look, see your Zarya gets pummeled because you back up. So your Zarya and yourself are a unit, right? And so your Zarya W keying and you holding S because you're low and she's full health and wants to be aggressive, this doesn't work. And so this is where comms need to come in. And you need to like get in the comms and like I'm low. Like when you're low as Reinhardt, it's the most important thing in the whole game. So like, you know, make sure your Zarya's on the same page, and maybe she could like back up, she could bubble you, she could body block for you, but like you guys need to work together. This fire strike does nothing. You're just pressing this button to press it. So what I said at the beginning when you walked out and it didn't seem like you had like intent of what you wanted to do, this fire strike has no intent. What does this accomplish, right? What does this accomplish? Are you trying to hit the Moira? Like you're 190 HP, you're antied, and you just kind of like yeet a fire strike through the team. Like this does nothing, right? So you don't just want to press your buttons to press them. Like you need to understand, why am I going to fire strike here? So right here, I don't really think it's a good time to fire strike. You shatter, right? But the problem with this shatter is that their Reinhardt's not in the shatter. So, two things I would have done differently. I'll get through this faster after this fight. Okay, so right here, you want to be thinking about space, right? So instead of rotating to the left, you and your Zarya want to hug the corner of the point, and you want to stand like to your right, like over where my mouse is over here, like right here, and you just want to stand, you know, just barely on the point. Because this, you being like fanned out like this, like your team, if you look at my mouse, your team is this way, your team's this way, and you're rotating this way. So you're rotating your shield away from your team, and you're spreading out, which gives them openings, right? So because you've rotated this way, their Rein recognizes that, and he's playing on the side of you that you can't cover, right? So you're shielding this way, and they're like, you can't shield all of this because of where you're positioned. But if you were to positioned here instead by this box, your shield would cover this whole team. Because of this bad positioning, when you shatter, you don't hit their Reinhardt. Making sure, like the golden rule of Rein v Rein, right? When you shatter, first thing that goes through your brain when you land a shatter is, where is their Reinhardt, right? If their Reinhardt's not shattered, then the first thing you do when you get this shatter is focus on handling this guy and not letting him swing on your team, right? So first of all, I would be positioned here, right? Because if you were here, he wouldn't be able to push here in the first place because you would own this space right here and you'd shatter their whole team. If I made this mistake, at this point when I get this shatter, look, and he rotates in, right? Oh, fuck. What is happening? Okay, we're a little bit too far. Right here. So he's not shattered, and that's really dangerous for you. So right here, I go for this first swing, and at this point, I'm going to jump to the right and charge this Ryan sideways into this wall. Right? Because your job is to kill this Ryan. This Ryan not being shattered is really bad for your team. Right? So instead, you go for these extra swings, and now you're antied again, and he's nanoed. And like now, I don't know, you're just in a really bad spot here. And you charge late. This is an awful time to charge. You wanted to charge him before you were already like dead pretty much. Right, so now you charge. The second he gets nanoed, probably don't want to charge anymore. Now you're antied. Definitely don't want to charge. At this point, you're going help, and you're going to hard S key and hard right click all the way back, right, until you're not antied. This is you literally scream in the comms and like let your team know that like you're not able to keep going in the team fight. Because look at your team, right? Your entire team is super healthy. So your whole team's going to think like, yeah, dude, this is the time to int. For you, this is the time to not int. So you need to like communicate with your team and like help, I need to get out. You charging here is absolute suicide, right? He's nanoed and you have 200 HP and you're antied. So this pressing shift here is suicide. So you kill yourself. So lots of things you could have done differently there. Your team cleans up, whatever. Okay, let's go a little bit faster. I was really nitpicky on those first few fights. Okay, so again, right there, you're squirreling and you're going and like chucking fire strikes at Sombra. Fuck the Sombra, dude. Fire strike this guy. You know? Your job is to build shatter. EMP shatter, whatever. Next fight. Look, you're doing it again. Look. You're squirreling. What are you doing? Look, dude, you're just running around. Like, you're not going to catch him, man. That's not your job. That's not your job. You see, you just fucking look dumb as hell running around here and jumping around. Like, oh, dude, he's gone. Okay. Like, 0% chance you can run this guy down and kill him. It's not your job. Your job is this 1v1. That's your job. This guy in the backline is not your job. And so this might go for everybody, by the way. Eve, I don't know if you're watching this part, but when people say Genji in the backline, right? If Eva's here, right, and she says, say I'm the enemy Genji, right? Eva's here and she says Genji in the backline. If you as Ryan turn around and go swing at him, you give their Ryan all this space right here. So the idea is, right now, you want to advance your space and push more space. When she says, oh, there's a Genji in the backline, we need help, at that point, you don't turn around, you just stop taking space. And at that point, you're going to say, instead of pushing more space here, I'm just going to hold the space I have and just wait and stall and let my team deal with this Genji. And when they're ready to support me again, we can keep pushing space, right? But whatever you do, you don't want to give up the space you've taken. So by you turning around and running all around back here, you just donate all that space to this Reinhardt. So you get hacked from the back, that sucks. Okay, this rotation is bad from you. So you don't want to rotate away from your team. So if I were you here, instead of rotating this way over here by yourself, I'd rotate behind the cart. Like the cart, think of the payload as an infinite HP shield that moves. The cart is a second shield that you have, and it has infinite HP, and it can't be destroyed, right? So if you ever get hacked, one of the best things you can do is, one, run to your team, don't run by yourself, and two, like crouch behind the payload and just use the payload to help you survive, right? If you just go right here and just hold crouch, you're not going to die. And you can test the payload. That's a good fire strike. Right now, hold shield. Yeah, that's good. Yep, that's fine. Right now, take space. Push up. See? Look. Look, 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 look. What did you accomplish? What did you accomplish by running back? Right? You didn't do shit to help kill that Sombra, but now your Zarya is here, and you could be here where my mouse is. You could be there, but instead you're here. And because of that, your Zarya is going to have to back up. And so when you take this next fight, instead of being able to take it here, you guys are probably going to take it here. So you gave up maybe, 5 meters, all because you decided to squirrel for 2 seconds. Okay, hang on. We need to discuss that. That's atrocious. I say that on, with all the love in the world. Let's watch this again. Look, see? Oh. Alright. This is a good time to mention, Overwatch is about the objective. A lot of times you have to win the team fight to take the objective, but as long as your team has the objective, you're winning the game. So right now, this 3 and the payload moving, you're winning the game, right? So you guys don't have to be super spazzy about, oh my god, there's players here, we need to press Q and win. Like, as long as this is you have 3 people moving the payload and, like, they're not, assume they're not rotating and taking high ground around you, then you have something to be worried about. But they're all standing right here, and you're moving the payload. So right now, you're winning the game. Also note that they have no ults to use, and they're down 1. So at this point, you guys probably win this fight without any ults. If you stand right here, you would have been right here had you not squirreled on the Sombra. But if you stand right here and just hold right click, your team caps this point with no ults used. Why? Because 1, they're 1 down, and 2, they have no ults to use. Right? Like, what are they going to do? They just lose. And if something goes bad, you guys can use an ult. But this, because of the state of the game right now, you're already winning in 2 ways. 1, you're up a player, and 2, you own the objective. You're winning the game in 2 different ways. So there's no reason to be dumping ults here proactively, because you're winning the game. So this is like, again, you just stand here and hard right click, Shatter catches nothing. It's super rushed. Like, you didn't. Maybe you're not familiar with, like, shatter range or the cone effect, but, like, you're not going to catch anything with this. And even if you shatter somebody right here, what are the odds that you can actually get follow-up on it, right? Because say you shatter these 2 people, somebody's going to have to overextend and try to go get those kills, and then maybe they get charged by this Reinhardt, right? So, like, by shattering so aggressively, even if you got that shatter, you might open up your team, like, make your team really vulnerable. Okay, don't charge here. I can already tell. Rule of thumb with Reinhardt, if you charge, unless it's like last kill of the whole fight, or you're taking space between fights, you're not allowed to charge away from your team. So, imagine there's a line where my mouse is right now. There's a line. Actually, it's more like this way, right? So from, like, this corner over to this post right here. This is a line, and this line divides the 2, call it like the space that both teams control, right? So anything this way of this line I'm drawing, we control, and anything this way, we control. So I'm in a really aggressive position here. Our Tracer's semi-aggressive, but overall, this is the line that defines what space each team owns. If you ever press shift and it takes you over our line into their space, it's a bad charge. So if you're going to charge this Rhine, you need to either charge him parallel to this line, right? Or you need to charge him into your team. You never charge into their team. Because what happens if you charge into their team? He's going to have his whole team right here to support him, and you're going to be really far from your team. So you're going to put yourself in a bad spot. Oh, there goes our main tank, dude. Yikes. Like, oh, that's really bad. Probably would have been better if you just stood here and held right click, or just, left clicked on this guy a few times and then right mouse button, you know? So you see how by you going way over here, let's watch it again. Watch what their run does when you charge into Africa like that. Watch their run. He squirrels, first of all. Bad run, right? But before you're even back, he's like, oh shit, free space. Just gonna go swing on your team, right? And now their run is here. Their run has just bought space. Whereas if you just stayed here and held the front line, he wouldn't be able to push up and swing like this. And they pull this fight out. So if we had played more aggressively here and you had not charged, we would have won this fight. There were other things that went wrong, for sure, but golden rule of improving at the game, you're not going to be able to change other people's positioning. So for example, I was out of position over here and I got picked. But from the perspective of a Reinhardt VOD review, the focus is what could you have done differently to win that fight. And so what you could have done differently is not charge into Africa and deny your team a main tank for 10 seconds. So in that situation, it's okay to swing at the Sombra in that situation because you're not really, like, you're not engaged with their team yet and you're not giving up space for that. So that's, you know, in that case when she's just like 1v6 hacking somebody, it's okay to help force her out. Okay, I don't like that shield. So, you were really, really, really selfish with how you shielded that bomb. Oh, this is sick. Okay, watch your movement here. Instantly, you put up shield, right? You know how long this takes to explode. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to, like, jump shield back to here and shield at this location, right? Because I know my team is going to take cover this way. And so I want to make sure wherever I'm shielding, I want to, first of all, understand where my team is going to play. And second of all, make sure that if I'm going to shield something like a Diva Bomb, my shield is going to be in a place where it can help people other than myself. So by you rotating this way, right, look at you hold S here. Look, you're holding S, see? Oh, I remember this. I got so unlucky here. Hang on. Your shield wouldn't have helped me. This sucked. I remember this. Okay, let's watch. I'm getting fucked on here. I'm just low. Oh, I'm so close. I'm like a centimeter away from line of sighting that. That's unfortunate. That wouldn't have killed Zarya. So I think your team would have been okay. Right? But like in general rule of thumb, you don't want to like... Well, no, because if you rotated this way by shielding the bomb, you'd also be shielding your Zarya from these people attacking her. So like, you know, either way, this shield is no good. You're shielding at the wrong times. So again, you're going aggressive at bad times. What? That's not what I want to look at, but Okay, let's watch. So, anytime you don't have armor, you need to be really careful about swinging. Also, you want to make sure that when you get Zarya bubble, you're always like swinging with the bubble, pretty much, right? So, first of all, you don't have any armor, and you're swinging here, right? Then you decide to shield, and you decide to shield and play passive when you get Zarya bubble. So this is like worst case scenario for Rein Zarya, right? You swung when you're really, really vulnerable. You shield and play passive when you're finally allowed to go aggressive. And then once you lose the shield, then you decide to go aggressive again. Right? And so like obviously you're okay because you're just cleaning up. But like in general, you went aggressive and passive at the polar opposite times of when you should have there. Quick thing, I don't know if Evo, if you're going to watch this, but this is, look, point your mouse up a little bit. 1 bar. 1 bar. You could kill that super easily. And this is also a time, this is for Evo too. Just because I see it now. Actually, fuck it, we'll look at it when I look at your thing. That was terrible, that shatter was awful. You get half a point for shatter on first point and 0 and 0 for these ones. So you're like 0.5 for 3 on shatter so far. The fuck is that shit? What is that? Why? Like, why shatter that, man? Like, even if this Rein gets back in, like, he's 1v4. You know? Like, there's no need to shatter here. Because you could shatter, like, what if you had shatter for right here instead? You know? Like, you don't want to just be donating your ult like that. It's not a huge deal, but it kind of is. Almost died there from going aggressive at the wrong times. Okay, that's another example. It's okay to chase the Sombra there when she's, like, point blank on you hacking her. If she's, like, swing range, you can just kill her real quick. That's okay. Okay. Okay, look, again, see? You swing without bubble, and then when you get bubble, you hold shield. And your Zarya doesn't have charge because of it. Good reaction time. No, that swing, this swing is bad. This is bad. You can't do anything about her there. All you can do is block and deny the hack. But by chasing her like this, look, now your back is to their McCree, their Moira, and their Rein's about to fuck you up. And what are you doing? You're swinging at air in the direction of this Sombra who's still farming you because you don't have shield up. You know what I mean? This is awful to swing there and chase the Sombra. Right? So, oh god. Okay, what you do here, so that line we were drawing before, here's that line. Look at my mouse. Here's that line, right? So what you're going to say is, this is that same thing we talked about earlier. Genji in the back line, right? You don't go get the Genji. You just hold the space while your team gets the Genji. So what you call here is, you know, Sombra left side or something. And then your Lucio or your Zarya goes and pokes at her and forces her out. And you hard right click on this corner. And no matter what you do, even if you can't take space right now because there's Sombra's behind, what you're going to do is deny their Rein from pushing past this line. Instead, you give up this space to chase the Sombra that you're too far away from to hit. You take a bunch of damage for it, and look, see? Now already the line was here, now it's here. Now it's here. Right? And look, see? You're so fixated on this Sombra. Your job, this guy versus this guy. This 1v1 is your job for the whole game. So it's your job to track, yo, their Rein has shatter. Like, even if you're not that good at ult tracking, right? Like, you should always be able to track your mirror. So if you're Rein, you know where your ult charge is, you know when he shattered last, and you know who's been swinging more because you swing on each other. So you should have an idea of, like, I'm 60% he probably has Shatter, right? And so by looking away, like this is your job, right? This is your job. You're not hacked. You're just distracted. And because you get distracted and you give up the 1v1, they win a team fight because of it. Right? And so because of that, right? So here's where ult trading comes in. Our Lucio saves us with beat, and he dies for it, right? But we had the trade beat. Imagine if you had just held this space and blocked Shatter, and we didn't have to invest beat for that. So I bet the fact that we don't have beat now is going to catch up to us when the payload's over here because of ult economy. Where are you? What are you doing? Right now, W key, man. Like, we're in. W key. Get in, get in, get in. Yeah, see? So this is... Okay. Quick note. This is where Me? See? There I am. Hello. This is where I do really, really bad plays in Plat. And I probably struggle DPSing in Plat more than I do in, like, Masters. Because I'm used to, like... I don't know why Lucio's back here. I don't know why Zarya's back here. Moira's the only one that should really be on point here. Right? And like this, when we start rolling kills and we're like... Okay, right here in the kill feed. This, you've won the fight. The whole team is like, get the fuck in and stagger these guys for as long as possible. So Lucio is like, get out of healing, get into speed, and amp, right? Amp and get up there, right? All three of these guys should get the fuck up there with their Tracer Genji. And so, side note on me, I know that is default. That's just how you play the game. And so I assume that my front line and Lucio are going to be like right here behind me. Right? And Tracer and I are like getting the fuck in trying to chase these kills. So yeah, Zarya goes back to the point. Moira can win this 1v1 every day of the week. Every day of the week, Moira wins this 1v1. So Zarya doesn't have to help with the Sombra back here, really. And if you are going to help with the Zarya should just right-click the ground and melee. You shouldn't try to beam the Sombra. Unless you have, like, Sinatra aim. Okay. Look what you did. Where's our line? Right here. This is our line. I'm going to show you how this line moves, right? Our line's here. Our line's here. Tracer overextends. Our line's here, right? Our line is here. Here's our line. Here's our line. Here's our line, and there you go, charging past our line. Now, I don't know what this Reinhardt ends up doing, but if this Reinhardt was intelligent at the game, what he would do is ignore you completely and hold right click in this direction, right? Barring that you don't shatter him, but assume you're not going to shatter him because you're 97%. He just right clicks and denies you healing, and then you're 1v3 and you just die. And you just get fucked up. They didn't need to EMP that, but the reason you got fucked on with a charge is because you put yourself on the other side of the line. So your job as Ryan is to rotate that line and take space and move the line, but not just shift past it completely. What happened here? After this round, I'm going to go to Moira for the next round. Sorry, I'm a robot. I wasn't watching. How do you die here? Where's your bubble and why are you swinging? Okay, golden rule with Rhine, right? When you, make sure this is recording. Okay, it's recording. When you swing, you don't have bubble, you're only allowed to swing one time. And after you swing, you have to flick shield and, like, stabilize. And you do a mental check, like, am I good? And you swing again. And that flick shield is, like, a millisecond, right? But you can't just hold left click. If you have Zarya bubble, you're allowed to swing twice, maybe 3 times, maybe 3. But let's watch how many times you swing without bubble. This is an awful bubble. This is just K's, I guess. This is her not understanding how Zarya works. This bubble does absolutely nothing. But again, because we're reviewing this from the perspective of what can Reinhardt do better, you have to recognize right now that your Zarya fucked up and you can't go aggressive. And you're just going to play the waiting game, like right here, until you have bubbles. Alright, instead, here you go. First of all, you know you're not going to have your bubble. Second of all, let's count the swings. 1, 2, 3, right? And you get absolutely dumpstered. So 2 mistakes there. 1, you swung too many times in the first place. 2, you didn't recognize that your Zarya had wasted bubble back here. And so you die because of that. So you can blame that on your Zarya. You can also blame that on your awareness, right? Both of you have the chance to fix that. And so we lose that whole fight just because of that mistake. That was good. Look. See what you did? When you got shattered, your squirrel instinct, or when you got EMP'd, your squirrel instinct kicked in. You were like, oh, and you went and swung back here for like 2 steps. Right? Don't do that. Okay, so again, the second that Reinhardt gets in the fight, you're in a 1v1. So you kind of tunneled in this diva a little bit too long and kind of ignored their Rein. If their Rein had shatter, he could have got a free shatter right there. Too aggressive. Look, see the line? Watch. Here's the line. Here's the line. Your HP is okay. So this is the point where, like, you and your Zarya and their Rein and Diva are both kind of committing way past the line and trying to end the fight. So this is the point. This is the point where this is the line and everybody's standing on it. It's like a game of chicken. This is the point where, like, the fight's gonna end now. Right? Here's the line, because they have a baby diva in your backline and your team's looking at this. Here's the line, and here you go way past the line, and look at your HP, right? You get fucked on. That's because here's the line still. Your team is still fighting here, and you're way over here, right, without your team. Now in GOATs, this could work because you'd have 6 players standing on top of you. But we're not playing GOATs, right? So you can't do this. You can't just, like, go out and swing by yourself. And yeah, it doesn't matter because we win anyway, but, like, mistakes like that, where you just, like, you know, we're 6v3, right? We're 6v3, easy win, and somehow you manage to let yourself get to 1 HP. Shit like that is how these teams come back and, like, win these overtime fights, you know? Little things like that. Okay, this is bad. You don't want to be up here, right? You want to be here, so that if somebody comes this way, you can be involved in the fight. Okay, I'm going to watch Moira's perspective for the next part, but I do want to look at that one place. Okay, let's just watch her for a little bit. Okay. Okay. Easy fixes. Easy fixes. We're gonna watch from here because I see a lot of things. Okay. Why do you have to follow him like that? Like, why not just stand here and right-click the Genji, you know? You're playing like a Lucio right now, where you have to, like, ferry your Rhino around. That's not your job. Okay, right here, see? This is where I was talking about. You're being too supportive, right? You throw a healing orb, but your team's at full HP, right? So this is where you can afford to throw a damage orb, right? You're going to pressure their Moira, their Genji, who are really squishy, and you're going to force their Diva to commit Matrix early to eat your damage orb, or else their backline's going to die, right? Imagine their Diva is forced to Matrix early, and that opens up an opportunity for your Zarya to grab, right? So there's no need to healing orb here. Your team is fine. This is where you damage orb. That's a good ult. Okay, what are you doing? What's over there? What do you see? I don't understand. What's going on over here? Okay. Watch your movement. So, this situation, right? You're Moira. Even though you're hacked, you still lifesteal, right? So in this situation, what you want to do is you want to AD crouch spam against this Sombra and just prevent her from... Like I was saying, Moira wins the 1v1 with Sombra. So the only way you lose this is if you move predictably and she one-clips your head. So here, you're kind of like maybe get next to this pillar and just kind of like AD spam back and forth, crouch spam, AD, and just avoid her headshotting you, and you just naturally win with lifesteal because of Moira. Okay, so you move very, very predictively in a straight line. And luckily she's plat and her aim sucks, so it doesn't matter, but, you know. If you were in a higher rank, moving in one direction like that, and especially jumping, right? I don't know if you've ever heard if they have a Widowmaker, don't jump, because the second you enter the jump animation, your trajectory is like fixed, right? While you're jumping, so it makes you really easy to track. So if this Sombra didn't suck at aiming, you probably would have taken a lot more damage there. Again, just little things right off the bat. Okay, healing. Again. Go back. You don't need a healing orb here. And so, all these times where you're chucking healing orb and your team doesn't need it, like, think of healing orb as Ana's nade, right? Like, would you nade your team here? Probably not. You just shoot the tracer once. And in your case, you just left-click the tracer. But, like, look at your team's HP. Right? And like I hope you play with allied health bars on so you can see that information, but your team's not in a state health-wise where you need to healing orb here. And so this is a situation where chucking a damage orb and getting this Ana to half HP and forcing her back, and maybe, you know, maybe it ticks the Moira once and you get a pick, right? Situations like that, like you want to optimize your output. And so anytime your team is full HP and you're chucking a healing orb, it's as if you just didn't use it at all. It doesn't do anything. It's very low value. Right? Don't need the healing orb here. See? Again, left clicking. Everybody you're left clicking is full HP. So absolutely for you, be more aggressive. Like, instead of being here, position more where your tracer is maybe, and just like right click this diva. Like, pick something and go get it and farm it with your right click and just farm this ult, you know? Because you want to get a pick, right? And so it's like you right click here and then you right click over here for a little bit, and then it's like, oh, actually I'm going to go right click here. Okay, right here, in a team fight like this, you need to be using orb on cooldown. On cooldown, for sure. Fuck, man. Alright, hang on. Let's just watch this. Healing nothing. Alright, this is good. Yep, this is perfect. Right click the diva down. The second this orb comes off cooldown, what's the situation, right? We're full HP. Boom, damage orb. Straight through this into their team. Look how much, think about how much pressure that would create. First of all, it would secure the kill on this diva. It would tick down the Rein's armor, making your Rein swings do more, right? It's going to get this more really low HP, and it's going to, like, look at all these backline here. Imagine a damage orb just tick, 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 tick all the way through here. Like, that would create so much pressure. And like we were talking about earlier, that pressure on their backline, where their backline's suddenly like, oh my god, we're low, then their Rein's like, fuck, my team's low, and then suddenly he's not able to push in here like this. So use orb on cooldown. The second orb's on cooldown, are we gonna die? Do I need a healing orb? No. Damage orb into their team. Okay. Remember I mentioned the other day how Reins will rotate away from their team when they look for a shatter, right? So instead of the Rein playing here and covering his team, he'll rotate over here because he wants to shatter. It's like the classic Rein strat. The classic Plat Rein fucking Mongoloid strat. Look where he goes. Look at him, look at him, look at him. Look at him. Right? This button. This button. I can't fade, right? So I was talking to you the other day about how, like, I don't think the fade change is that good. Because initially you would think, oh, well, if I had like the PTR changes, right, I would get shattered there and I could fade out of it, right? But if you're a good Moira, already you're like, dude, look at this Rein's positioning. Like, he's going to shatter right now. Holy shit. And you're ready to press fade. Watch. My PC just froze for a second here. My recording still working? Think so? Yeah, okay, it is. We're good. Okay. Okay, from the shadow, watch. Also, I don't like your difference in, so like, okay, your left click and right click are like step 1 and your orb is step 2. What I mean by that is if you need to heal, step 1 to heal is left click, step 2 to heal is healing orb. Right? So step 1, if you want to heal your Rein, is to left click him. If left click isn't enough, then you healing orb, right? Say you left click your Rein and the left click is enough healing, then you damage orb. So healing orb and right clicking at the same time, you're like reversed in the order you want to do this, right? You want to, like, if you decide my Rein needs healing, first thing you're doing is left clicking your Rein, right? If that left click's not enough, then you heal orb. But I would have said that if you would have left clicked your Rein and damage orbed this way, or damage orbed this way, that probably would have been better than heal orbing and right clicking their Rhine. I would say even healing your Rhine and heal orbing your Rhine would be better. Because if you're going to commit to the healing, just commit to it, right? This armor is really important for him. So if you're going to commit to the heal orb, just commit to the healing altogether and heal him up. Watch. Look. Hear the noise? I play in Korean, but right? He screams, look at his fucking animation. He's ready to go, right? Right here. Press fade, right? You can avoid this before, like, once your reaction time gets good enough and you understand by him playing here, he's looking for shatter. Otherwise, he's just going to die. You'll be ready to pre-fade this. And, like, every good Moira. This is why GM Moiras don't think the change is that impactful. Because even after the PTR changes, it's going to be better to pre-fade this than it is to get hit by it and then fade out, you know? So right here, the second he goes, like, when he rotates, you're, like, ready to fade, dude. Ready to fade. I'm not going to get stunned. I'm going to be there for my team. The second he starts that shatter animation, just fade and, like, AD spam in place and just be immune when the shatter hits, right? Hopefully that makes sense. There you go. Okay, okay. Couple things. First of all, that isn't your job. So, Sombra's not like Tracer. Sombra being here, she's not here to kill somebody, right? She's not going to kill somebody. She's here to farm EMP. And so, the best case scenario for her is she comes back here and tries to do some annoying shit, and our main healer stops healing the team to just right-click random space and try to find her, right? That's really bad, right? So, against Sombra, right? Sombra comes in, you force the Sombra out. At this point, you want to go really aggressive. So right now, I'm pressing Q, right? Get the fuck in. Just press Q. Press Q. You'd kill that more if you press Q. Just get in, right? While the Sombra's out. Your Rhine is like, oh shit, we're going in, right? She's already hacked your Genji. First of all, you don't need to fade there. I don't know why you faded. She's not, like, you're pretty much full HP. She hacked somebody else. You don't need to fade. But look, your team wants to go. Your team wants to go. And you're not engaged. First of all, from an aiming standpoint, let's look at your aim here. I think you need to calm down a little bit. So, okay. So, I guarantee in your brain right now, you know the Sombra's like right here off screen, and your brain is like, oh my god, 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 oh my god. Oh, fade. Look at your aim. Oh my god, 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 oh my god. You know what I mean? Like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Like, you're freaking out, right? So, like we talked about earlier, the whole point of the game right now, you have Reinhardt Zarya, your Zarya wants to grab. Your whole existence in life is to enable your Rein Zarya. Good job, good job, good job, right? Sombra hacks me, right? Your only job is the person she hacked gonna die? No, we're fine. So keep enabling your team and, you know, she'll fuck off, right? This is, so like we said, don't fade. Shooting her here is okay to force her out, right? But see how little you're doing right now? Overall? In terms of like your efficiency with left and right click? Look, nothing, nothing, nothing. 1, 2 seconds of damage. Damage orb, good. Now watch what you do. Look, see these like little periods where you just kind of like right click space and you're like, oh yeah, they're over here, you know? Like, try to be more proactive with how you think and like what you're trying to do. Just get in there more. Like, you don't have to be so far back. Right there, where your crosshair just randomly goes off way over here, and you're like, oh yeah, D.Va's over here. Yeah, nice. That's what I was gonna say earlier. This ult is late, by the way, way late. At that point, I wouldn't have even used that ult. Like, maybe it saved the Ryan's life. Maybe it would have lived otherwise. But I mean, you have orb, right? Another point, by the way. Fun fact for Mora: it's forbidden for the rest of time to ever press Q without throwing orb first, because the orb will go off cooldown while you're ulting. So it's forever forbidden for the rest of your life to ever press Q when you have an orb available. Just like, even if you don't know what you're throwing at, just fucking chuck that shit and then press Q, because why not? It's free. Bad healing orb, right? Your team's full HP, does nothing. And right here, see? Like, you don't have to stay way back on the cart. Like, I'd be using Fade to get in there and, like, you know, heal my Tracer a little bit. Right click this more. Like, get in there with your team, you know? It's over here. What are you doing? What? What? Okay, look where you're standing now. That's where I want you to go in the first place. Like, you just spent 10 seconds doing like absolutely nothing. So, it seems like you just don't, like... I don't know what the wording would be. It seems like you don't have a pre-existing understanding of, like, how the game works, in the sense of, like, what team fight is coming up. So, I don't know, it's hard to phrase. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like, it seems like you're... Let's just watch it again. Right here, right? Look, see how you're, like, turning around? It seems like you're just in these, like, they call this the neutral, before, like, altar exchange, or the teams really, like, engage each other, and you're just kind of, like, poking, right? It's kind of like the neutral fight. It seems like in the neutral fight, you're just really confused, and you don't really have a purpose in life. You're just kind of existing here, doing stuff. With orb off cooldown. And you healing orb your essentially full HP team. I don't know.
포크짓으로 재생시켜주지.
Melee. Punch. 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 Always punch. So here, send a healing orb to your... Look, orb off cooldown. Send a healing orb to your team, right? Because in this case, your Zarya should be pushed up with your team, pretty much. But, like, so, theoretically, your Zarya is with your team, right? And because your team doesn't have a main healer, I would send a healing orb to your team just in case. Since your Zarya is here and she's on cart anyway, I would shift ahead and go up and, like, be with your team. You don't have to turn around to fade backwards. You can just fade and hold S. Where are you going? See? See, I don't know how to explain it. There's like these little like 1 second snippets where you just like bot out real quick. And then it's like you turn off for a second and then you like reboot a second later. You're like, oh, I'm back. Like, watch. I say it in the most loving way possible. I don't know how to like verbalize it very well. Watch. So you're in this fight, right? Windows shutdown sound. Bum 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 bum. You know what? Startup sound. It's like these little second periods where you just shut down and then your brain like reboots. You're like, oh, I'm back. You know, it's like, ah, all right, we're back in the fight. You know, you know what I mean? Like that stuff adds up a lot. You don't want to have these moments where you just get, and it's not because you're like a bad player or anything. It's probably, my guess is because in situations like this, you're unsure of what you should be doing. And the answer to that is do something. Just commit to something. Pick something and commit to it 100% and do it. And you're it's either gonna work out or you're gonna feed and kill yourself. And either way, you learn something and you get better at the game. So anytime you're like confused and you really don't know what you need to be doing, or you're like you just don't know what's going on, just like fuck it, pick something, commit to it, and do that thing. And then learn if that was the right or bad thing later. I'm curious what I think your sensitivity's too high. There's times where you're like, your mouse, your crosshair just kind of like swings way over far to one side for no reason. Like, see this tracking right here? Like, you shouldn't be. I don't know. It seems like your sensitivity's too high, and you're just like really volatile all the time with your mouse movement instead of like, oh, Diva's right here, and then just hold the crosshair on her and right click. You know? I would have liked that all if your Rhine didn't get fucked, but we already talked about in the Rhine part of this why he died there. So we'll just say that was a good ult. I would have liked to seen it sooner though. Did you have it earlier? Yeah, ult here. Ult now. So if I'm you, right? I'm looking at my cooldowns. Damage orb ult right now. Damage orb ult. And when you ult, so I would damage orb this way and ult at that McCree, you know? This guy's an issue over here. Look, see how jerky your mouse movement is? Watch. Just watch your crosshair. Now, when we watch your crosshair here, keep in mind this whole thing is from the perspective of like every second of the game you're doing something. You have a purpose and you're accomplishing it. You're doing something, right? So every millisecond of your crosshair placement here is going to be, what is my goal in life at this point in time? And then let's do that thing. So just keep that in mind. And let's watch what in your brain are you doing at all these points in time, right? Right here, healing me at full HP, which might be okay, right? Healing Ryan, probably way too much. He's full HP. Alright, you decide to go on the Sombra. Oh! He's full HP. On the diva, that's okay. That's good. Why are you backing up so far? Lucio boops for no reason.
세포 구조 재생시켜주지.
See all these little ticks of damage that you miss on this baby diva? So that's something where, like, even though you don't really play an aim hero, having good tracking can really help you, because it's going to allow you to like min-max the damage on. Just watch. This is good. Right? Chuck an orb. Good. 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 Kill it. Now go back to your team. Help. So, okay. Really good until just then. Watch your movement. I don't like your movement here. This is fantastic. Turn around and just kill that real quick. Right, get back to your team. Right here, you're out of range of healing your team. You need a hard W key and get back with them, right? Your Lucio's fine. Right now, stop left clicking your Lucio. And just get in. Watch your movement here. Watch. So you can like back up a little bit and you're scared to get in there. Like right here, if I'm you, I'm shifting into this and like damage orbiting the floor and meleeing this and getting a double kill. Like, get in there, man. Like you're not gonna die. But maybe if you get in there and you get really aggressive like that and finish these off, like somebody else doesn't have to overextend and do it. Like just get involved more with what's going on. Like you could get a triple kill here. You probably didn't need to ult that. But instead, right, you're so scared of like you're too defensive. And you're like, "Oh my god, my run's so ult." You know? It's like even if your run dies there, it might be okay. So if I'm you, healing orbit your Rhine and shift into these two and like kill something. A big thing goes for every role, every hero in the game. You want to play faster, and you want to maximize the amount of information you can get on your screen at one time. So when an event happens and the event ends, when that event ends, you want to min-max your time in the game of gaining information. So here's what I mean. Sombra EMPs, and she ports out. When she ports out, you know for an absolute fact that there's nothing here. So the first thing you should do in this time is like give a tick of healing and whip your mouse around and look the other way. Because right now, you're lacking really critical information, which is what's going on in the actual front line of the fight. So look how long you spend without that information. See that? See how long it takes you to like realize that this event of getting EMP'd is over and turn around and get back engaged in the fight? It takes you a long time to do that. Let me show you something real quick. I hope this works. Oh my, oh fucking, I'm already in fucking Overwatch. Time is that right there? Okay, I want to show you something super quick. Show you two things actually. Sorry, this is taking a long time, but I'm thinking of things. So if you ever notice, if I'm attacking this as Tracer, right? Say I'm attacking this bot as Tracer, right? When I reload on this bot, fuck it. I'm back here and kill both these bots, and when I reload, I'm gonna reload in two different ways. Here's way number one. Here's way number two. You know? And so, if you watch any good Tracer, they do this, of like, whenever they're reloading or doing something, it's like, you know, I'm shooting this, and I know what's going on at this part of my screen, right? Reloading, can't do damage, like, look around, and they're gonna, they're gonna, be doing something, and, like, their mouse movement is gonna be active, so that at every point in the game, they're doing something, right? So, like, right, they're always, like, kind of looking around, and, like, you know, we're going over here, right? Like, the second it dies, whip around, get more information, figure out what's going on, you know? You know, like, the second you start reloading as Tracer, you're, like, looking around, you're doing something, because it's pointless if I'm gonna reload on this guy, say I don't kill him, right? I reload, and I just kind of, like, or say I kill this guy, right? Kill this guy, and I reload, and then I finish reloading, and I'm like, okay, on to the next thing, you know? And then I have to find a new target and then go. So instead of, like, killing this guy, reloading, and then finding a new target and going, right? I can just, like, kill this guy, reload while I find my target, and the second I'm able to shoot again, I'm on something else, you know? It's just more efficient. So for Mora, like, it's like the second whatever I'm doing ends, I'm like instantly looking somewhere else and like doing something. You know, I don't know if this is making sense at all, but like, it seems like in your gameplay you're not being productive with like your, you know, so compare that. Let's look at okay, let's look again. Right, so with that in mind, F8 here about. Watch what's on your screen. We already looked at this. We already looked at this too. Okay, here we go. This is where we want to go. Watch what's on your screen. See how long it takes you to like respond to new things and get new information and like you know, I don't know if it makes sense or not, but it just seems like your mouse movement isn't as active, right? It's really like slow or passive or like lethargic mouse movement. Whereas like you want to be really like sort of
Shield's gonna drop in like 5 seconds, careful.
Watch out, Widow. Let's go. Speed left.
watch his crosshair. See how fast he looks at different places and picks something else to do, right?
Get a field, get a field.
Look how fast he like. So what's going on? Okay, so I think this is worth looking at real quick, right? The first thing I said was you need to pick something that's your goal in life and commit to it, right? So the reason he moves his mouse so like frantic looking and he moves so fast at different things is because he needs information so he can decide on something to do and do it quickly. And when he changes things that he's doing, before he goes to the next thing, he knows what he's going to go to and he just snaps to it and he just does it, right? So when he finishes this thing, he doesn't have to figure something else out and then do it. It's like as he's doing this thing, he's looking for the next thing and then he does that thing. Right? So what? He's like healing, right? Healing, rotate, right? Field, right? He's decided on field. Next, what are we doing? Make sure our Rhine's okay. What's next? Right? Rhine's okay. Shoot something. Hide. Throw an orb. Fade out. You know, see how fast he's playing? Like the decisions he's making are so quick. Watch this fight again. Better quality. Okay, watch this fight again. This is really important.
Let's go. Speed left.
This applies for every hero in the whole game. This style of play where you play fast in the sense that like you're doing things a lot. It's hard to explain, but you can see.
Get a field, get a field.
Watch how fast he plays.
Push, push, push.
Look, see? Look, this is what see? Remember when your Rhine shattered 3 and I said instead of healing, you could just shift into their team and get a triple kill? Right? Watch. We got really lucky that he does that exact thing here.
Push, push, push.
Second his Rhine's okay and he realizes they've won the fight and there's 2 backline here, right? Make sure we kill this. The second he knows that's going to die, look, instantly shifts into their backline, damage orb, right? Damage orb, melee, gets 2 kills. Look how much he contributed to that fight, 16-49, right? Watch one more time. Look how much he contributed to his team that fight. Instead of just like,
Get a field, get a
you know, instead of just healing.
field. Push, push, push.
It's like, because he's playing so actively, by watching him, it feels like the whole fight is in his control. He owns the entire fight. Like, the status of the fight is like, you can tell he understands everything that's going on, and it's completely in control. Everything's in his control. What he's doing, right? He's well aware of everything that's going on. Everything's in his control.
Push, push, push.
He's the bus driver right now.
Nice. Just stay on point. It's perfect.
Yeah, I have beat for next.
We try on core next and we should be fine.
I want to watch the next fight. See what he does.
Dag main, dag main.
I think this is really worth watching.
We can win.
A really big part of improving your gameplay is watching gameplay of people that are better than you. Like watching pro gameplay. So like if you want to learn Moira or Ana, you watch ML7. And literally at first, just try to copy paste the way he plays.
Next fight with beat.
And you're not going to be very good at it at first, but it doesn't matter because you're going to practice it.
Lucian need to kill the widow behind.
So what was his decision making there, right? We're about to get dragoned, which means the fight's going to break out. My Widow's still low HP, and my Lucio didn't go to healer. So I'm going to send a healing orb to my Widow, right? I know as I send healing orb to Widow, the dragon's coming, so I need to shift out of the dragon. First thing I'm going to do out of my shift is check up on my Rhine and make sure he's okay. That's his decision making here, right? Looking at the Widow, still low HP. Healing orb goes to Widow. He hears the dragon. Instantly, next thing, shift out of dragon. He's already decided, next thing, heal the Rhine, right? There he is, heal the Rhine. You know what I mean? Like, these decisions, like, bang, 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 one after the other, and he knows exactly, like, every time, the second the fight breaks out, he has a plan of, like, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, and he has a purpose. So, at no point here does he get confused and just kind of look around lost and, like, try to find something to do. Like, he proactively knows what he's going to do.
Lucio, need to kill the widow behind.
Decision, 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 right? Ult. The second he gets it, ult. Try to get the field, can't get it.
It's okay, one fight. We have.
Yeah.
Just watch the end of this fight. See how he's kind of like frontlining? Like he's in there with his Rhine, you know? He's not like way back just like heal botting, you know? He's in there.
We're equal.
I'm charging shield. 3 seconds. Push it.
Get out. Okay, widow dead. Let's be defensible.
Yeah, okay. Remember, you have far here.
Let's go.
Right up.
Even go.
See how he ults before his Rhine gets low? He ults aggressively. He ults proactively every single time. I think I mentioned that about Moira ult and Valk. How you want to use them proactively. Like before shit gets bad.
Here with you guys. Oh, this guy has immortality all the time. Kill the reset. We got it.
Lucio.
See how active he plays?
Dead. He's on the left side. He's gonna try to touch. I'm just gonna charge him off. He's coming. Backside.
Am I gonna fade?
Yeah, got it.
Ults the second he gets it again.
Hey, stay with me more.
Next thing, right? Next thing.
Testa. Ball one.
Next thing, look at the kill feed. Look how much he's doing. Look how engaged he is in the fight, right?
Nice.
Every GM player looks like that when they play. How they're getting max value out of their character. Maximizing the time. Always doing something. So that's what I'm talking about when I say your crosshair movement looks lethargic. If you compare how you move your mouse compared to how ML7 looks when he plays, it's just ML7 is doing a lot more, a lot quicker. Not saying I expect you to play like ML7, right? That's not realistic. Otherwise, you would just instantly be top 500. But that's what I mean when I say you look like you're slow with your mouse movement and stuff. I don't know how long this has been, but I'm gonna keep watching because I'm bored. I'm not bored, actually. I'm enjoying this. I'm practicing aim. Warming up, warming up.
4, 3, 2, 1. 공격이 시작됩니다. A 거점을 수비하십시오. 내 의지는 이루어지리라. 방벽지로 이동하시는 걸 추천합니다.
Look, already, right? The fight hasn't even broken out, but do you see by the way you move your character and you move your mouse, like, how it's just such a slower pace of play than what we were watching with ML7? Like, it's just slower. I don't even know how to explain it, but, like, you just want to try to be more, like, just be in there more, be more active, be more engaged. Just move, play faster. And by move faster, I don't mean up your sensitivity. You might even need to lower your sensitivity, depending on your aim, but you just need to be engaged more. What are you doing? Orb. You have something, like, do something. Do something. Do something. See? See how little you're doing right now? You're like healing nothing, right-clicking nothing, chilling out, right? The team's already rotated over there. Your Sombra's dying. Like, I don't know. Everything's just so slow right now. I kind of feed right here. Don't watch me. Melee. Punch. Orb. 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 What are you doing? See how slow you turned around there after that was over? Late to fade back to your team. Orb. Ate that to the face. Orb. Why? Oh no, it makes me so sad. Why healing orb there, man? Just left click and damage orb. What are you doing? What are you doing? There you go. Right, and this is where you're too much of a healer here. Like get up there and right click something. Like get in. And part of it's because your tanks are the same, like your tanks have the same problems as you, right? And so it's not like you can just snap play like ML7 because you won't have the level of activity that you need to have from your tanks. So you won't be able to just play like that here, but overall, like the whole team needs to the objective is all right, dude. There's nobody there. Let's push up and get these staggers. There you go. Yeah, get up there. Fade back. Good. See how you're like randomly just like looking. See if you do it again. See how your camera's your mouse is just pointed this way for no reason. Like it just bothers me how you just like look off into the distance sometimes. You know? Because like the information is here. Like look at this fight. There's shit going on right here. This is important. There's stuff going on here. Like maybe you need to ult this. Maybe you need to figure out what you're going to do with your orb. Maybe you need to shift into here to save somebody. Like, something could be happening here, and you don't want to have time just looking at the wall over here. Okay, your movement was not good there. Pick a side. Watch.
내 의지에 굴복하라.
Boom. Right here. Left or right. You're either going to go behind your team and go all the way over here, or you're going to go into the room and go all the way in the room. But you don't want to be here. Right? So right now, you've decided you're going to be in the room. So no matter what happens, if this Rhine turns around, you're going to hold S. And you're saying, this room is my space. Nobody comes in. This is my room. Right? So if this Rhine wants to swing on you, you go back, and you just point it at your team and shoot at the Rhine. Right? And you randomly decide to rotate back out here. Take a swing. And then now suddenly you're beaming nothing away from your team. And you get fucked by the ulting Genji? What if you just held S and you were back here? And your beam kept going this way, and 1, healed your team, and 2, kept damaging this Rhine, and you just... Remember, if you watched the Rhine VOD, how I was saying about the Rhine VOD, how bad it is to just, like, fly swat at shit on the side? Like, that's what this Rhine is doing here, and if you just kite him back here and just ult your team, you probably win this fight. You would have killed that Genji, too. Look at his HP. If you had been back here ulting, you would have killed that Genji. You would have killed Rhine. Let's see how many the Genji kills after he kills you, right? You probably just watch too, right? Like, he dies, but I don't know. Imagine if this whole time you had killed this Genji. Who do you melee? Me, I think. I would still be alive. Like, this whole fight would be totally different had you just kept holding S and keep your ult hitting the team and keep yourself safely inside that room. You know? You just kind of voluntarily walked back out into the danger. Just got killed. F8. Punch! 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 180 punch! Oh! What are you doing? Punch! What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh! Orb! What are you doing? Orb, shift, orb, shift, orb, shift. Orb him first before it. No. I think if you damage orb and shift backwards, and again, you don't have to look where you shift, you just damage orb and then shift and hold S, you probably killed 2 there. You would have killed both those DPS, maybe. And that sets your team up a lot better for this contest, because they might be down 1 or 2. You know? You don't need the healing orb there? Okay. So, when the Genji blades and your team transes the blade, you don't have to be scared of it anymore. The second he comes in with his initial... so I don't know if you know how Nano Blade works. If there's a trans and he's Nano Bladed, he has the chance to insta-kill 1 backline, but he can only do it once. And it's with... slash dash, right? So he would left click and animation cancel the left click with the dash, and that would burst. That would be burst over 200 damage, instead of like dash into them and then left click, where you would get time to get the healing from the trans. So if he were to come into you into that trans and like left click and then instantly shift and animation cancel the left click, he could one shot you through the trans. So that's what you're worried about here. So I would probably fade for that. Let's see what you do. You probably didn't need to fade there. You have fade. Fade right now. Right now you're fading, right? The second you know, so say you faded. The second you know he's not going to get that one shot, you only need to hold S here. You're not scared of him. He can't do shit, right? He can't do shit. You've got a trance. So here, literally just ignore him. This dude doesn't exist anymore, and use this trance to W key and like take the fight, you know, if you're going to take the fight. You guys are all like really scared of him when you're invulnerable, you know? You don't have to be scared. If you had better aim, you would have killed him there. This ult's really bad. So keep in mind, like I said, the game's about the objective. So as long as they own the objective, they're winning the game. So even if you kill 3 here, the place that the objective is, that's not a place that you guys would go take, you know, because they spawn right here. So at this point, even if you get kills with this ult, you're not going to take space from it, right? So these aren't kills you want. So right now, you want to just get out and save your ult and make sure you have your ult for when the payload is in a place where you actually want to take it, you know? Because look, you guys push here, right? Let's see how much stall you get on the payload because of it. Oh, well, let's back up anyway, because they spawn right here. You know what I mean? It's like, what does that do, pushing there like that, you know? It doesn't do anything. So I think that was a wasted ult for that reason. This is good. Shift. Run. Orb yourself. Heal. Okay. See, look. See your movement? Why look at the wall and walk back here? What are you doing? What are you doing? What? I don't understand that. There you go. Do something. What's next? What's next? Shift forward, you know? Take some positioning. You're just chilling. Go do something. Alright. What are you doing? Looking at the scenery? Get in there. You're too far back. Oh! Q! You Q'd too late. So, like I was saying about like when we watched ML7 and he Q's really proactively, watch what position your Rhine is in when you press Q here. I'm gonna tell you when I would press Q. Q now. I would Q right now. Why? Because this wall is here, and you know that this Rhine is committed at this point. This fight is gonna happen, right? So imagine if you had, like, say that wall wasn't there, and you had, like, an Orisa bunker here, and your Orisa drops bongos, and they just kind of walk away from it, right? You don't really want that to happen. This is a situation where their Rhine can't just walk away. They're committed to this fight. So at this point, just Q. Q offensively. Watch your Rhine's HP. Oh. Oh. And now you Q, and the Q is recovery mode, right? Instead of make a play mode and win the fight, right? More result is not recovery mode. More result is, yo, I'm ulting. Let's get the fuck in. Your Ryan can't get the fuck in. He's getting blown up. He's hacked, 1 HP, this and that. He's just gotta hide. You walked into that. That's whatever though. We lose anyway. You did walk into that though. That grab. Did you die? Oh, you missed like a whole thing here. Jump during your fade and you'll go farther. Orb! That orb probably doesn't hit enough people on the cart. So again, couple seconds there where your right click, you couldn't really decide who you wanted to right click, and you're just kind of right clicking in between a bunch of people. See if I can find the frame. Keep in mind your right click is lifesteal, so right there, right here, right here. See all that time where you're just not hitting anything? And also you're kind of on top of the payload. Like, play, you don't want to play here. Either play back here or play in this Hanzo's face on top of this dude. And like pick somebody and get on top of him and commit to him, you know? But instead you just kind of like end up here and then you're just kind of like looking for something to do. And I think, I mean, you probably, you know, you might have not died because he didn't headshot you, right? So maybe if you had got more lifesteal, you could have survived that shot. You would have lived longer. Maybe. Orb, healing. Too late. Like, these decisions, your decisions are right, but they're like a quarter second too late. And that adds up to like, you know, maybe after 4 seconds of gameplay, you're like a second late total on all your decisions. And over the course of like a whole team fight, maybe you're like 5 seconds late, you know? Like, the amount of time when I'm saying like orb, and then you throw orb like half a second later, like, it's probably just getting more comfortable with Moira in terms of like really understanding what the situation is. The situation there is stall, right? So already you know you're going to stall, and so you know the second orb's off cooldown, I'm going to chuck healing orb, and I'm just going to AD spam and stall, right? And it seemed like when your orb was off cooldown, you weren't prepared to do that right away, which means you didn't have that plan pre-made in your head. So, things to work on. Have a plan. And then do that thing. Pick a thing and do that thing. Play fast. Orb, 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 orb. Too late. Turn around. Too late. Yikes. So, a little bit too late to turn around to the Sombra. Right here, I'm fine. You need to turn around and help the team, right? Like, you already know from what's on your screen now, I'm not dead. Sombra left. I'm still here. I'm fine. 180 back and help your team, right? Left clicking me there, that's a little bit of a waste of time. It's unfortunate our diva didn't eat this anti-nade. And it's unfortunate somehow that our tanks are playing here instead of like right here, right? I don't know why the shield's here. They really shouldn't get hit by an anti-nade in the first place, but it's beside the point. This damage orb I don't like. In this situation, your tanks are anti here, right? And so in my head right now, it's like we're kind of in a shitty spot because our tanks are antied, and in 3 seconds or whatever, when this ends, our tanks are going to be in a really bad spot. So in my head, I would be saving Heal Orb for when this ends. How do you die here?
피해 복구하는 중. 내 의지 이루어지리라.
This is just bad awareness from your Ana. Your Ana needs to heal you here, and you need to heal your Ana. And because you and Ana don't properly peel for each other, he just kills you both. So only thing you can do there is play faster.
내 접근 방식에 결함이 있었어.
Okay. Hopefully that helped a little bit. If you have questions, let me know. And yeah.